I don't. I have to be serious. The first part. And I
Okay.
don't know if I
Okay.
can. Looking at you.
What do you want? Where do you want me to look over here?
Can you just step after? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Historic Shenanigans. This is a new podcast where I, Shannon Martin, are going to tell my friend Julie Miller
That's me.
just some crazy stories from history.
Stories I've never heard because I've only heard like normal stories that they tell you in school.
There's a lot of stuff that they don't teach you.
Well,
And they
I'm
should,
ready to be taught.
right, because if these stories were actually taught in school, kids would really find history more interesting.
Yeah, I enjoyed history, but I could enjoy it more.
Yeah, history was always my favorite class,
My
and I
mom
was
was
really
too.
good at it. So it's just remembering stuff, basically.
Yes.
So,
Some of it was boring though.
yeah,
Not this.
not this. This is going to be great, and it's going to be funny, and you're going to love it.
You're gonna love it.
There's just no way you won't.
There's no way you won't. As it turns out, I do enjoy history. I just don't know a lot about it.
Right.
So that's where you come in.
I know. So I figured since this was our first episode, I would talk about our first president.
George Washington.
Yes. Ding, 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 ding.
I do
Good
know
for you.
something.
Well, that's the show, folks. She guessed
Sorry,
it.
I could have played dumb there, I guess.
Well, she guessed it already, so we'll talk to you next week.
It's been fun.
Okay. This is about the death of George Washington. Have you ever heard this story before?
About how he died?
Yes. Okay. So, picture it. December 1799.
Okay.
George Washington is 67 years old at the time, and he's finally living a quiet life. You know, he said he always wanted. It had been 2 years since he had walked away from the presidency, and he was back at Mount Vernon, which is his massive estate on the Potomac River.
That's where the cherry trees are?
Yeah. I don't know. He may have chopped them all down.
Okay.
There may not be any left. I've
At
never
one
been
time.
there. Huh?
At one time?
At one time. So this man, you know, he's known for being kind of a badass. He had survived wars, smallpox, dysentery, tuberculosis, flu, anything you could basically die of playing Oregon Trail.
Mm.
Do you remember Oregon Trail?
I've heard of it. I don't know that we had computers at school
Yeah.
that young, because I think that was a school game, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the best computer game in the world, and we only had like 2 discs and like 3 computers between the whole school. So like there was like a sign up sheet where you had to go sign up to play it, and then like they would go down the list so that
So, like, could you finish your game before somebody else had
yeah,
to?
because it was like this day these people get to play it, and this day these people get to play it. It was really funny, but anyway. And if somebody was playing it, like everybody would be crowded around the computer, like trying to tell them what to do, and you always died of dysentery every time.
Dysentery, man.
Dysentery.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's like where you defecate a lot.
Doo-doo?
Yeah, doo-doo.
Yeah.
I was trying to be classy. All right, so it's Thursday, December 12th, 1799. Washington had woke up early, and by 10 a.m., he was out on his horse for a ride that would last 5 hours. But the weather, as his secretary Tobias Lear later wrote, it was just plain bad. It was like cold and rainy. So for hours, Washington just kept riding through this freezing wet weather, just totally focused on his work, not worrying about that he's soaking wet with snow and rain and cold.
So this wasn't a pleasure ride. It was work.
It was at Mount Vernon. I believe when he owned it, there were like several different farms on it, and he had like several different people. Like this person would run that farm, this person, but it was all he owned all of it. He just had it separated into different farms. So I don't know why, but that's how he did it. So he was checking on all these farms for like 5 hours.
Took about 5 hours.
Just about 5 hours.
Gotcha. Good little work day.
Yeah, it's a good work day. So he got back to the house around 3 p.m. and his secretary Lear noticed right away that his neck was wet and snow was still stuck all in his hair and everything. And he suggested, "Hey, Washington, you might want to change clothes before dinner. But Washington, who was always punctual and maybe a little OCD or just stubborn, he just waved him off and he's like, no, I've got to eat dinner.
Right.
Because it's dinner time.
It's dinner time.
I
These
don't
wet clothes.
I don't have
Wait.
time to be changing clothes. It's dinner time. So that decision wouldn't turn out to be a good thing. So that night, he seemed fine. He was as well as usual. Quote, he was reading newspapers out loud to Martha and Lear. And the only sign that anything was wrong that night was his voice was a little hoarse, but nobody thought anything about it.
Yeah, that
Even though
happens
he'd
to all
been
of us.
running, even though he'd been in wet clothes for
Mhm.
hours and hours and hours. So the next morning, it's Friday the 13th.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
That's why he should have changed his wet clothes.
exactly
He should have known.
for real. I mean,
He should have known.
He should have known.
This is on you, George. I don't even know what's about to happen, but it's on you.
Well, there's some other people that might be to blame.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So, like I said, it's Friday the 13th, and it was obvious something was wrong with Washington. He woke up with a really sore throat, and his hoarseness was worse, and he just felt sick. But even though he felt this way, he went outside again on his
He had to check
horse.
that farm.
Because that's what he did every day. So that's what he went and did. And he was like marking trees on his property that he wanted to get cut down. That's what
Mhm.
he was doing that day. So that night he came back, but he was much worse. His voice was so raspy that he couldn't read the newspaper like
Oh,
he
no.
always did every night.
He sounds like a man of habit.
He does. I
Yeah.
think he may have had a little OCD going on too.
Yeah.
Maybe undiagnosed.
Yeah. You think somebody was diagnosing it back then? In the 1790s?
Hey, I said undiagnosed.
I know, I'm just asking, do you
No.
think?
No.
Between me and you.
Between me, no, nobody told Washington he was OCD while he was alive. So, nobody was panicking or anything because they thought, well, he's got a cold. You get a sore throat,
Mm-hmm.
You feel bad. It's a cold.
Mm-hmm.
But that was not the case. As everyone slept that night, something very aggressive was taking over Washington's throat. The inflammation was getting worse, and he was silently starting to be short of breath, but still nobody was panicking. But the next morning, when he woke up, actually it was between 2 and 3 in the morning on Saturday, December 14th, he woke up suddenly because he could not breathe. He was struggling for air. And so Martha was, getting worried. She's like, something's wrong. So she just went to so she wanted to go get a servant so that servant could go for help. But Washington wouldn't let her go because he thought she might get a cold if she went out in the cold weather.
The servant or Martha?
Martha.
Look at him. He's looking out for his
I
woman.
know, right?
That's
Because
sweet.
it's like,
I'll just die instead of you getting a cold.
right. I wouldn't want anything happen to you.
Right. No reason for us both to be dead. Think about it.
So they waited for hours until it was time for her to actually come to work. So when the housemaid gets there, she lights a fire and saw how much trouble he was in and immediately got Tobias Lear, which was Washington's secretary. Lear rushed to his bedside and was horrified because at this point, Washington could barely breathe and he could not speak. And they tried a home remedy, like a mix of molasses, vinegar, and butter. I don't know what the butter was supposed to put some butter on.
They should have tried some honey and lemon.
I think so. And a little bit of whiskey.
Mm-hmm. Some tea.
Yeah. But, butter. So.
Butter make it better.
Butter it. Butter it, baby. So he tried to swallow this mixture, but he couldn't. Probably because it was full of molasses.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to wash those down.
And butter.
Yeah. So his throat started swelling, and it started swelling so much that he started choking. And, of course, this was a huge red flag
Yeah.
that something was wrong. So they knew that it was serious, and Washington himself told them that he wanted Alvin Rollins to come, who was the farm overseer. Now, Rollins wasn't a doctor, but he did know how to perform the most common medical procedure of the 18th century. Do you have an idea of what that procedure is or was?
The most common medical procedure in the 18th century. Maybe
Yeah.
like a tooth extraction.
No.
Okay.
Guess again.
I was scared
Why
I was
would
going
that-
to be right, and you were going to be like, dang it, she got it.
Why
again."
would that help?
I don't know.
Well, I guess they were using butter, so
I don't
anything's
know.
possible.
I don't know.
It was bloodletting.
What is that?
And huh?
Bloodletting?
Yeah, you don't know what bloodletting is? Sometimes they would just like cut you and like let you bleed a little while
Mhm.
in the usually like if you had a sore or something, they would cut you open on the area and let the blood come out of it
Kind of
because
like flushing it?
kind of but different.
Not really.
Yeah, and a lot of times they would also use leeches. They would like
Mm.
cover your body in leeches, trying to
Sorry.
because they thought their thinking was that your blood was bad,
Right. So
because
they're
it was
getting out
making
the
you sick.
poison.
So they wanted to get the bad blood out so that
Mhm.
you wouldn't be sick anymore.
Gotcha.
Okay, so Washington was a big believer in bloodletting, and he did it on all of his slaves and that he owned, and he thought that was what he needed. So that was probably the first, and I wouldn't say, well, I guess the decision to use bloodletting was probably the worst decision of the day.
Oh, man. Worse than the butter and the molasses
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and vinegar.
Yeah. Well, I guess I don't know what the vinegar would be for, unless it's just to
Maybe to thin
dilute
it
the
out
molasses.
some.
Huh?
Maybe to thin it out some, make it easier
Yeah.
to swallow.
Swallow. Yeah, I guess. I've never heard of that combination specifically, but you know, I haven't been alive as long as
I was going to say I wasn't around
I wasn't
in
around then, so
1790 something.
I know that we're not using it today.
Right.
So I'm guessing, it wasn't
Mhm.
very productive. So the idea of the bloodletting, like I said, was because they thought that your sickness was caused by an imbalance of fluids in your body. Usually, they thought you just had too much blood in you. So they thought, hey, if we get some blood out of you, you'll get well. So Rollins made a cut into Washington's arm and drained about a half a liter of blood. But Washington, who was still gasping for air, it didn't make him feel any better. And he actually urged Rollins to take more blood because I think at this point he's feeling desperate because he just wants to be able to breathe.
Right.
So meanwhile, a messenger was sent to get Dr. James Craig, who was Washington's personal doctor and an old friend. They had been in the war together or whatever. So, and then another messenger went for a second doctor, Gustavus Brown. But Dr. Craig, he showed up at around 9 a.m., saw the information and the fight for his breath, and his diagnosis was that he knew he needed to get that inflammation in his throat down quickly so that he would be able to breathe. So he performed a second bloodletting, and then he applied what they are referred to as a blister of cantharides, which I had never heard of in my life.
Cantharides.
Yeah, a blister of cantharides. And they applied it to Washington's throat, and basically it was a paste made up of like crushed beetles, also referred to as Spanish fly. And they wanted to put this on his throat so that it would make these painful blisters actually come up on his throat, because they thought that would pull the sickness out of his throat. It have these things like, I guess, kind of like leeches would do, just sucking sickness out of you. So now,
it's poor Washington. It's a little cold.
So now our first president of the United States, he's lost some blood, and now he can't breathe, and now he's got these painful blisters all over his throat. And so that didn't work. So then they tried to get him to gargle with some sage tea and vinegar.
Okay.
And again with the vinegar, I
don't
know,
get it.
But anyway, and so that didn't work. So they were like, well, Why don't you try inhaling some steam and see if that clears up your airways or whatever.
Look, side note, one time they thought I had asthma when I was a kid, but we couldn't really go to the doctor.
Right.
And that's what my mama made me do, was just breathe over a steaming pot of boiling water. And
Mhm.
it helped. When I would feel like I couldn't breathe, I would breathe in that steam.
Well, it worked for you, but it didn't work for
Yeah.
Washington.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
They didn't try it soon enough. That should never be your last resort.
So when they did this, he almost suffocated.
Mm.
So it's just the swelling was so bad, and the
Mhm.
treatments weren't working. And with every bloodletting, Washington's just losing all of the fluid that carried oxygen through his body. So it was causing him to not be able to breathe even more. And so, as that morning dragged on, we're still on Saturday morning, the mood in the bedroom got seriously desperate, as you can imagine. Because Washington was now visibly suffocating. He could barely breathe at all. So he is not in a good place at this time.
Nobody
So-
had an inhaler for this.
No.
one.
No,
Can somebody get the man some albuterol?
please
Just a little breathing treatment.
plug that mother in the wall.
Right.
and
Right.
Let the man inhale, for God's
Mhm.
sakes.
Quit making him bleed.
Oh. Which brings me to the next step.
Uh-oh.
So the other two doctors, which was Dr. Craig, Dr. Brown, and then this younger physician named Dr. Dick, arrived. We're really immature.
Yeah, I
and
don't know why I
can't
laughed
say-
at that.
I can't say Dr. Dick
Was that
without-
short for Richard?
No, that was his last name. It was Elisha Cullen Dick. It was his name. So they're all, I guess, in the corner of the room discussing, hey, what should we do? Because this guy's going to die if we don't do something.
Anybody else got any ideas?
So they decided that a fourth and final bloodletting was needed.
Fourth time's the charm.
Yeah. So, in total, in less than 12 hours, they took somewhere between 80 and 120 ounces of this man's blood out of his body.
Wow. I wonder how many,
So-
like percentage-wise, how much of his blood they took.
Yeah, I'm about to tell you
Okay,
that.
Okay.
So, to put that in perspective, that's about 3.7 liters or 40 to 50% of his entire blood. They've taken half of this man's blood out of his body.
That, I mean, you picture a 3-liter soda of blood. Jeez.
Oh, do they make 3 liters anymore?
I don't know.
Oh, those were big in like the 80s and 90s.
Maybe, I don't know. I think it's probably just 2 liters. But they
Probably.
did have 3.
They did have
Mountain Dew. 3-liter.
some Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they make them anymore. Hey, if you know, email us. So, but even more, you're not even, like, if you go donate blood, you're not allowed to donate even one single pint because
Yeah.
that's too much for your body to handle, and you need that blood. But what they took from Washington was 5 to 7 times that amount.
That's crazy.
It's
That's
crazy.
crazy. Did they give him crackers afterwards?
He didn't swallow no damn cracker.
Oh, yeah. Dang, that would have been worse. Way worse. Like, are you trying
Let's
to
just
kill
shove
me?
it in there. Too bad. So, so at this point, he had to be in shock. His
Mhm.
body was in shock,
Right.
and his heart had to have been racing and pounding, and because his body was starving for blood, and because that's where your oxygen is contained in your body,
Mhm.
he's very short of oxygen.
Which he already was short
Right.
of.
So their cure was basically making it very worse, very much worse, and basically killing him, right? So they decided in their infinite wisdom that it would be appropriate to give him some chemicals that would make him vomit viciously to purge his system. Which, of course, only dehydrated and.
Well, see,
and
I was going to be
weakened him.
like, well, I can see why they would do that. Because if they think there's something in his throat, if you make him throw it up,
Well, my
it'll clear
point.
his
Well,
throat.
my thing is, if you can't get anything down the throat, what makes you think it's going to be good for him to try to push something up his
Out,
throat?
yeah.
That was
yeah.
my thought, but I'm no doctor, so what do I know? So This is a crazy story. So it was then that the youngest doctor, Dr. Dick, he suggested something which they considered radical, which
I mean, at this point.
he saw that nothing was working and that the real problem was an actual physical blockage in his throat. So he's like, hey, let's just give him a tracheotomy and pull whatever's in his windpipe out.
They cut open his throat?
But they did this with no anesthesia, no hygiene. They just cut into George Washington's
The
throat.
first president.
He's our very first president.
Where's Martha at? Just say, y'all leave him alone at this point. Leave my
That's a
man alone.
goddamn question.
She's off somewhere. I was going to say something real dumb because is she the one that made the flag? I was Betty.
No,
Betty.
that was Betsy Ross,
I almost
who
said
had
Betty
no
White.
association. She was not married to
Okay.
Washington.
Okay.
Actually.
Different woman.
Different woman altogether.
Okay.
Different names and everything.
And
So-
not Betty White either because
No.
that's what I almost said instead of Betsy Ross. It was Betty White.
Well, yeah, it could have been Betty Wright. I don't know. So they cut into his throat, and Dr. Brown later wrote that he regretted that decision.
Oh no.
But in
I'm
the
sorry,
moment,
2020. Yeah.
they were trying everything at this point. And through all of this, Washington's still laying there. He's very composed because,
He's probably
badass.
lethargic, actually.
Probably-
He probably can't move.
he probably can't speak. He obviously wouldn't be able to,
I mean, you got to think he has no blood, no oxygen. Now he has no throat. Like what can he do besides just lay there and be like,
right.
he's
But
probably just thinking.
Right. But he was composed. That's the way they want to look at it.
Yeah, he was a strong
He
leader.
was a strong leader.
Mhm.
And so at this point, he whispered to his secretary, quote, "I'm afraid I shall fatigue you too much."
Mhm.
And as the afternoon faded, Washington seemed to know that it was the end. And he told his doctors, "I thank you for your attentions, but I pray you take no more trouble about me. Let me go off quietly. I cannot last long."
Man.
And to his old friend, Dr. Craig, he said, "Doctor, I die hard, but I am not afraid to go." So he's basically trying to say, hey, y'all leave me the fuck alone.
Leave me
and just
alone.
Let me die. Just let me die.
I ain't afraid at this point. I'm hurt.
I'm just.
Y'all making it worse.
It started out as a cold. Keep that in mind.
Yes.
It started out as a cold. And now he's sitting there with no blood and a hole in his throat.
Yeah, he can't breathe. It's got beetles all over him. Taste vinegar. At least the molasses was probably sweet, but then they had to put vinegar with it.
Right. So I don't know what these people are doing. So he's telling Lear, I need you to go through my papers and everything, get everything together because where where my will is, all my legal papers, everything. So I need you to start to get that together
Mhm.
because I'm
This is the
dying. I'm
end.
dying. So he gave one final instruction, and he said, "Do not let my body be put into the vault in less than 3 days after I'm dead."
He want to make sure he's
Right,
dead.
'cause
Yeah.
A lot of people, they buried a lot of people alive back then.
Yeah.
That was kind of like a big thing. And there was a guy that even invented like this system where it was a string that led into the coffin. And like if you woke up, the string was attached to a little bell above ground. So that if you woke up, you could start ringing that bell, and hopefully somebody was
Somebody
listening out.
hears it. You're like, hey, I'm in here. What if you were buried at some point alive? How do you know to ring the, like, you wake up and you're like, what is going on?
Well,
Like,
because I think it was a thing
you
that
just knew that
everybody
was the
knew.
system.
Yeah, like
if you ever wake up,
look for
in
the
a black
string.
box, pull the string and ring the bell.
But
Wow.
what ended up happening with that, as a side note, they would put it in the hand, like of the
The
dead
string.
person. Like they would put the string in the hand. But as the body started to decay, it would start moving the string.
Oh no.
So like you had people like, because it'd be months later.
Yeah.
And people were digging up people months later because they heard these bells ringing.
Oh gosh.
There's no
And then
way.
then it's just bones.
There's no way. I don't know what people are thinking. I guess it's better to be safe than sorry.
Right.
I guess.
I mean, I guess. Yeah.
But he reiterated that, like, don't bury me until you're sure I'm dead.
He said, "Don't bury me with no bill. Y'all better just know."
Y'all better be damn sure I'm the president. For God's sakes.
Former.
Ain't as
It's
important.
my buddy John now, but
So, at around 10 p.m., his breathing became even fainter, and in a final clinical gesture, he brought his hand to his own wrist, and he was checking his pulse, and then a few minutes later, he died. So Martha, who's sitting at the foot of the bed, asked Lear, "Is he gone?" And Lear just held up Washington's hand, and it was obvious he had gone. So between 10 and 11 p.m. on December the 14th, 1799, George Washington, our first president, died. And his final words were, "'Tis well."
I feel like we should have a moment of silence. Cool.
Okay.
He went through a lot. He really went through it.
He went through it. So
That was a bad day for him.
if he had just changed his clothes, coming to dinner that night, or not stayed out, or not went out the next day, that's probably what really did
Yeah.
it, was going out the next day.
But it's easy for you to say that, living in 2025 with all our modern technology and medicine.
Okay. You're right. Because
But also, he was probably just being a man.
Right,
And was like, no offense to any men out there
they
listening.
gotta cut these trees, and
Mhm,
I
yeah.
gotta tell them.
And they ain't going to do it right if he ain't out there watching
Right.
them.
I got to show them how to do it.
Mm.
So, for the last 200 years, experts have been trying to do like a historical autopsy on George Washington, based on the writings from Lear, because Lear, he recorded the whole process and
Mhm.
what was going on and what was said,
Recorded it how?
wrote it down.
Oh, I'm like, what? Ain't no way. You lying.
You a damn
Yeah,
lie.
you trying to.
I ain't
Ain't buying
stupid.
this.
I ain't stupid.
I ain't buying it. I ain't saying you lying. I ain't saying you truthing. Neither. But okay, that makes sense. Recorded.
Yeah. So, modern doctors today, they're kind of come to the conclusion that he died from acute bacterial epiglottis, which is a bad throat infection, which
Yeah.
kind of like the strep throat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
You reckon they had antibiotics back then?
obviously.
No, there was no moxicillin to give him.
Not if they're using molasses and vinegar
Yeah,
and
beetles.
butter.
Yeah. Don't forget the beetles.
And beetles, yes. So, the breakdown, what that is, the little flap of cartilage that you have at the back of your tongue that hangs down. So, that got infected, basically, and it just went untreated the way it should have been treated. So, it just started swelling and nothing brought down the swelling until basically he suffocated to death. Not to mention that he didn't have half of his blood.
I bet that had a little
And
something to do with it too.
I personally think that probably had a lot to do with it, because that would have made him so weak
Right.
that there's no way he would have been able to, or strong enough to fight off the
Right.
infection.
Right. Even if the beetles
Right.
had worked,
Right.
he would have just been.
The beetles, or, yeah.
Yeah. He had no blood.
Or, you gotta have blood.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm no doctor, but you gotta have blood. Okay. You gotta have blood, you gotta have water,
Water.
to live.
blood,
And air. That's
Wa-
probably the three
but
things.
food. After so long, you
After
have
so
to have
long,
food.
they say you can go several days.
Yeah, you can go a lot longer without food than you can without water.
Right.
So, I guess the question is, if he had that today, would he have survived? And
Well,
all the
yeah.
doctors say yes, absolutely.
It's going to be as 9 out of 10 doctors say.
Now, to be fair to Dr. Dick,
Sorry.
today's doctors would have immediately secured his airway either with a breathing tube or an emergency tracheotomy, which
Okay.
is what Dr. Dick did. But by that time, they had already done all these other things that
Right.
just made it impossible for Washington to recover from this.
I feel like he was a little ahead of his time, but late to the party.
Party.
if that makes sense.
Yes, yes. If maybe if Dr. Dick would have been the first to arrive
Mm-hmm.
and did the tracheotomy so it would relieve some of the swelling and
Right.
open up an airway,
Maybe.
maybe. But he didn't,
And he's dead.
and he's dead.
Dang. All right.
But yeah, most people say he would have most certainly survived. So this brings us back to his doctors. So does this make them guilty of malpractice or anything, you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so.
They took half of the man's blood.
Yeah, they took his blood.
Half of his blood.
But he was telling them to
He-
take some more.
Well, at first, that was before even any of the doctors arrived. That was what he was telling in his
That's
overseer.
right. And then the others came
And then,
in.
like,
when he
hey.
couldn't probably talk anymore.
Right. I
But he was
mean,
probably doing this like if he could. More
let's
ram,
get
more
this,
blood.
get
yeah.
this sickness out of me.
Yes. That's
But-
probably what he was. They knew.
They knew if he could speak, then that's what he
Yeah.
would tell them to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Need more blood.
So, so I think by today's standards, yes, but
But everybody's so Sue happy today.
Right,
anyways.
right,
So, you know,
right.
back then.
But
they're
I
like, "Well, you
think
did your best."
today, with the knowledge we have, if a doctor took half of your blood, you'd have a pretty good case for
Yeah.
malpractice.
Yeah, that's true.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't sue for that, what can you sue for?
Hot coffee. Burning your tongue.
That ain't all that woman burned, which is why she sued.
Oh,
It messed her up pretty well, and
like her legs and
well, a little further up in her
stomach,
lap.
oh,
Like
her
her,
vagina? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
To hear that story, you'd think you would have thought
well,
that
that's
she
because
spilled
it's-
hot coffee and
yeah.
that she sued them because they didn't tell her the coffee was hot when she ordered hot coffee.
even though it's, I mean, I don't know. I think that coffee was really, really
It was
hot,
really hot.
and it burned her badly.
Yeah.
in her
I would
privates.
probably sue somebody.
Yeah. So I
Yeah, I
mean,
probably wouldn't actually, because I'm just not a Sue happy.
I'm
type
not
person.
either. Cause like by the time all that would come up, I'd be over it.
Yeah, you're healed.
Yeah.
I probably like if you can pay for my medical bills,
Right.
maybe
Yeah.
if there's medical bills.
Right.
Surely she had some.
Well, I'm sure she did because she had to get like burn grafts and everything.
Oh yeah, then they would definitely.
And see, like back in the day when that happened, everybody was just like, I can't believe you sued for that. But
Mhm.
that's just because they saw a headline that woman sues because coffee's too hot. Like, you should know the coffee's hot. stupid ass.
iced coffee. I don't think they had iced coffee then. I
No.
never heard of it.
We were not putting ice in our coffee in the 80s and 90s.
I love a good iced coffee now. I bet you don't.
You know, look at me. Look at my face.
I
Do I
love
look
ice.
like I like iced coffee?
Do I?
I don't even drink
Yeah.
coffee, but I damn sure wouldn't want it with ice.
That's
That's
pretty good. You should
I
live
don't
a
know.
little.
I don't know. I just don't.
Take a walk on the wild side.
You know, I'm a habit of creature, creature of habit. I mean,
Yeah.
a habit of creature. So
Well, I hate to hear that about George Washington.
we're not done.
Oh, we were wrapping it up. There's more. Okay.
Just because he's dead doesn't mean the doctors are done,
The bell has not rang.
right?
There's more.
So, so with the science available today, the bloodletting was the serious killer.
Yeah, that was a
I
bad
think
idea.
that if everything else, you know, once they did the tracheotomy, he probably would have survived if they had not done all that other
Yeah,
stuff.
if he'd had a full
before.
body of blood.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, they basically killed our first president.
Mm.
So,
I bet they felt bad.
probably. I would.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to see how much blood was
They
coming
were
out of
probably
this
like, man,
man.
what happened? We did all the bloodletting.
We took half of his blood.
How could there be anything bad
There could
left?
not be any more sickness left in that body.
Because there's nothing left in his body.
So, so Washington's there dead, basically. He's laid out. So, he's laid out. He's dead.
He's dead.
He's dead. He's most certainly dead. So, enter Dr. William Thornton. Okay?
Okay.
He
Dr. Beale.
was
Dr. Beale.
Dr. Bill. Yes, Dr. Bill. Okay. So he had been friends with Washington for a long time, and he was a very, very well respected doctor. And so he shows up the day after Washington has died because he had been trying to get there when he heard the news that Washington was in bad health, which I don't understand. Like back in that day, how did a bunch of people know that Washington was dying? at the time.
That's a good question. Unless, like, whenever the servant went to get the doctor and there was other people around, maybe she was like, "Come quick."
Yeah. And it spread so far that this guy took off to get there,
Yeah,
but didn't get there till the day after he had died.
he needed a faster horse. Maybe he waited till the weather wasn't
Maybe.
quite so bad.
It's like, that shit's not gonna happen to me.
Yeah, I ain't going down like that. No can do.
I can't fall for that.
No can do.
No can do. So Thornton shows up and he's like, "Hey, I've got an idea."
Oh, Lord.
So he's thinking that never mind. I'm not going to bring up that movie with you because you don't
Try
like
me.
it, huh?
Try me.
The Princess Bride. We had
Oh,
that
yeah, okay.
conversation the other day. So just like in The Princess Bride, this doctor comes in talking about, well, maybe he's just mostly dead. So he's talking to Martha, and he's like, "Hey, I think there's a chance that I can bring this guy back to life."
From CPR.
He had been trained in a Scottish medical school, right? And was also an inventor. He was also the first architect of the Capitol building, which I find weird. But
So he was an inventor,
yes,
an architect,
yes,
and what else?
a doctor,
A doctor.
a physician.
Dr. Thornton.
Yes.
Okay.
So there was this supposed doctor over in Scotland where he had studied medicine they were like freezing fish.
Mhm.
Like, I guess at the time they were caught or whatever, they would go and freeze them. And then when they unfroze the fish would be like fine and would like swim around and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so Thornton is applying to this concept to Washington because they had put Washington's body out in the weather to freeze it so it didn't start decomposing right away.
Right.
So Thornton's like, "Hey, let's thaw this dude out. I think if we thaw him out, he'll
He
be
might
alive.
come back to life.
He'll come back. He's only mostly dead, Julie."
This is where cryogenically freezing.
Yes, this is where it started.
Yeah.
George Washington was the first.
Unsuccessful, I'm guessing.
Well, we don't know if it would have been successful because Martha declined his offer.
Okay.
She's like, "I think we're good.
Yeah, she was like, this man's been through enough.
Enough. He only has half of his blood."
Right.
It would take forever to thaw him out anyway because he has no blood.
Yeah.
So that is the story of how our very first president of the United States died.
You know what song comes to mind?
Here we go.
That ain't no way to go. That's really not any way to go.
That's not any way to go. It's not how I would want to go.
No, if I have a choice in the matter, I don't want it
No.
to be that way.
Yeah, if you're there,
Yeah.
if you happen to be there, and they're like, "Hey, let's take some of Shannon's blood."
Yeah, I'll be like,
You-
no.
You remember this moment?
Yeah, I'll
that
be
you,
like,
I
that's
distinctly
a
told you,
very bad idea.
don't do it.
What if they try to bring you molasses?
No.
Vinegar?
No,
What was the other?
butter.
Butter. That's so weird.
I don't know if the butter was to grease
Are we
up the
making apple
molasses.
pie? No, a pecan pie or what? Or are we trying to save this man's life? Martha's just dragging stuff out of the cabinet. That is.
I got paprika.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Oh man,
I
too
don't-
bad nobody had penicillin in that cabinet.
Or too bad. I mean, you got 3 doctors there. You would think that one would speak up and say, "Maybe we've taken enough blood from this guy."
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe one of them was a vampire. It was back in those days.
Oh, I have never thought about that. But damn, you're right.
It's a rabbit hole you might want to start or might not want to look down. I don't know.
Maybe that's something we need to look into.
Could be.
We could do that.
They did it for their own reasons.
Mm.
Because did they ever say what happened to all the blood? The 3 liter, the 3 liter
A
soda.
3-liter bottle of blood.
Yeah, where'd it go?
I don't know. I wonder if it's just in like the Smithsonian or something.
Maybe.
This is Washington's 3 liters of blood that they took from his body.
I would imagine they would test it if they have it somewhere with all of the testing these days.
Tested for what?
Just to see what happened. Like, what kind of poison did he have in his blood?
He wasn't.
Oh yeah, he was just
poisoned.
sick. He just had
He
strep
had a
throat.
bad sore throat.
He had a cold. And
He had a bad sore throat. I think I don't know. Maybe a throat lozenge or something. Maybe they could have shot him one of those.
yes, Ricola. There was somebody off in the mountains screaming that. Nobody
For
heard him.
God's sakes, read cool.
Bring the manicotti.
Okay, guys. Well, that's our story for this week. We will.
I
Go
can
ahead.
tell you real quick. I was going to tell
Yes.
you. That is a story I've never heard.
I bet I'm gonna come up with a lot of stories you've
I
never
like
heard.
That was interesting.
So that was the historic shenanigans of how George Washington died.
That was a shenanigan. They shenaned again and again on that one. Man.
Okay, guys. So, like I said, that's our story for this week. We will be back hopefully next week with
Mhm.
another
Yeah.
story
Thanks for
of
listening.
historic shenanigans.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, until next time. Oh, I was gonna say too that this is also gonna be on YouTube. So if you want to watch us on YouTube, or you can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. So check us out. Maybe subscribe if you want to.
Maybe
if you
subscribe.
Think, if you know, if you wanna.
If you don't have to or anything. We're going to do this whether you subscribe or not because it's fun. But we would like you to.
We would prefer it if you did,
Yeah,
but we
yeah.
will still be here next week whether you
Yeah.
subscribe or not.
For sure. Next week, you're going to love it.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.